Hey, how's it going, everyone? What is up? And welcome to my second Why I'm Excited For. If you guys didn't watch the last one, it's understandable because it wasn't about anything to do with comic books. It was about Metal Gear Solid. I'm really excited for that game. It sparked this little series that I want to do. It's not numbered, but, I'll probably end up making a playlist for it. And this episode is why I'm excited for Batman vs. Superman. So yeah, let's jump into it. So like any logical kid, teenager, I grew up watching anything to do with Batman. And of course, you had Superman on the side because you can't know about Batman without knowing about Superman because there's all these retarded people. I'm sorry, retarded is offensive. There's all these dumb, immature people who's always pitting two of the greatest superheroes of all time against each other for some fucking reason. I guess it's because of Frank Miller. That's the reason I don't like the Dark Knight Returns story, is because those two characters are, put up against each other. But, everybody wants to see the fight. It's like, everyone talks about it, everyone debates about it. Everyone's like, alright, who would win? It's interesting, but I don't agree with it. I think that the main reason I'm excited for this movie is because I can see what they're doing. They're building up this big fight between Batman vs. Superman in the movie, and Wonder Woman's going to be there. Lex Luthor's going to be there. And they're going to build up to it, and they're going to have, one big scene of them fighting, and then realizing that they're both in the wrong, and they're going to team up to take down the big villain with Wonder Woman. I mean, it's not that hard to see. They're not going to fight the entire movie. Batman's going to be the bad guy for half the movie, and Superman's gonna be the bad guy to Batman half the movie. It's all from perspective. That's what they're going for. It's neither of them's the bad guy. They're the bad guys in each other's perspective, and that's the interesting thing. That's the reason why Metal Gear Solid, I'm so excited for that. That's why I love it, because it's all about perspectives in that game. And it's really interesting because everybody's like, oh, Batman's going to kick Superman's ass, Superman's going to kick Batman's ass. But no, in the end, they're going to come together and be friends. And going back to reading Batman and watching Batman as a kid and knowing about Superman and how cool he is, you always wanted to see those two together on the big screen. You wanted to see a movie with them. And it's so exciting that we're finally getting it. We're getting the real out of the comics Batman. We've had the real out of the comics Superman since 1970, but unfortunately he passed away. And then we got a reborn version of him, I swear to God. Henry Cavill, however you want to say it, is so much like Christopher Reeves. He's such a good Superman. He's a different Superman. I think that's why a lot of people don't like him. He's a new take on, Superman, but he's still the same Superman. It's so weird. It's weird, but it's awesome. They're both straight out of the comics. It's amazing. It's just a great time to be a comic book person, especially if you grew up on the stuff. If you're just now getting into it when you're 30, you're cool, Batman and Superman, fighting. But if you've been watching cartoons about Batman, cartoons about Superman, movies about Batman, movies about Superman, since you were 2, then you're like me and you're the most excited person in the world because we're finally getting everything we want. We're gonna see the Justice League form off of this movie. It's gonna be so amazing. That's just the thing. We're gonna see Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman side by side to fight, well, minus Aquaman, probably he's gonna have a cameo. But Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman fighting side by side, fighting a big villain, probably Doomsday. A lot of people are upset that it might be Doomsday. I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm completely alright with it. I know why a lot of people are upset. They're there's two reasons that I've heard why people are upset. There's number one reason, you can't think of a good villain to have. Throwing Doomsday, he's always there. Plus kryptonite. And the number two reason is they need to wait and give Doomsday and Superman their own movie together and not have Batman and Wonder Woman in it. I completely understand those reasons. I mean, but they're going big. They're showing just by this that they're going big. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Justice League movie, the first one, was fucking Brainiac. I wouldn't be surprised. It just seems that's how big they're going with this universe. This movie and Man of Steel started something, Batman vs. Superman is going to expand on it and fucking nail it into the ground that it's happening. And that's just the most amazing thing about it. We're getting to see Batman vs. Superman, Batman and Superman, like, in the same movie for once. Wonder Woman's gonna be there, which is fucking awesome. And it's just gonna build. We're gonna have the Flash, the Green Lantern, Cyborg, fucking, Aquaman. All of those heroes that we love. We're gonna have the entire Green Lantern core in the DC universe. Shazam, Black Adam. Yeah, it's Black Adam. Okay. I almost derped there. It's just amazing. Yes, I am hilariously excited for this movie. Like, it is ridiculous how excited I am. But I'm not just excited for the movie, I'm excited for what the movie is going to do. This movie is going to create something huge that's never going to die down. You could argue that Marvel's already done it with the Avengers, but that's mainly for kids. I mean, that's for kids, and adults and teenagers who like superheroes but don't like the dark tone to them. If you like stuff straight out of the comics, that's what DC is right now. It's got the grit from the comics, it's got the realism from the comics, it's got everything from the comics. It's just gonna start this big whole giant thing with straight out of the comics, comic book movies. And you could argue, yeah, that will get old eventually once we've had 20 more fucking Batman movies and 20 more Superman movies, 20 Flash movies. But it would get old to us, not the generations that are coming after us. This is going to start something so big, it's going to be like when comics was first created. To me, this is how I feel about it. But it's going to be with good comic book movies. I mean, let's be honest, we've only had we had Batman in 1989, that was a good one. The first 2 or 3 Superman movies, and the Dark Knight trilogy. And Man of Steel, of course, you gotta count those. Those are the only good superhero movies we've had, and it's about 2 fucking characters. Batman and Superman. We haven't had a Flash movie, we haven't had a good Green Lantern movie, we haven't had a good Wonder Woman movie, we haven't had a good movie of any of that. We're finally getting it, and the next generation after us, and the next generation after that, and the generation after that, and even going back, all the generations before us that are still living, that loved this stuff when they were a kid, they're getting that now too. This movie is going to start something huge, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm really excited for the movie, like I said, and that's where this excitement's coming from, but I'm excited for what the movie is going to do. It's going to cause something big, okay? And it's just going to be great to watch, because I'm pretty young. I get to watch this span out over the next 50 years, and that is amazing. So, I really can't wait for the movie, for Suicide Squad, which is the next one I'm excited. I just can't wait for all of this. This is just going to be fun. We're going to get a whole plethora of new superhero video games that we've never had. A good Superman game, maybe a good Flash game, maybe a good Justice League game. Who knows? We might get all that stuff that we've wanted for years since the technology has been available. I think this could finally cause that, and maybe it could even kick Marvel's ass into gear with doing gritty movies instead of these kids' movies. We could see, the gritty Carnage from Spider-Man. We could see him in a movie. We could see the real Venom in a movie. The real Green Goblin. All of those good Marvel characters. This could spark, Batman vs. Superman could spark that for Marvel, so we might get realistic Marvel movies. I feel like the idea of Batman vs. Superman's already done that for Marvel. With Daredevil. Daredevil was pretty good. First 5 episodes, pulled you in with all the action, kind of shit on you the last 6 episodes. 7 episodes. Whatever. It was still good. It was a new tone for Marvel. It was good. They need to bring that to the movies if they're wanting to keep up with DC. Everyone makes these jokes about how DC is so far behind Marvel in movies that they're having to put 2, 3, 4 superheroes in a movie just to, try to catch up, and they're having to speed all these movies to get to the first Justice League movies and, play catch up with Marvel. I don't see that at all. I see DC taking these giant stories and hopefully, reforging them into something good, because, Batman vs. Superman, that's based off of The Dark Knight Returns, as much as I hate to say it, because I don't like that story much. You know, the movie's good, you know, part 1 and part 2, they're good. I just don't like how they make Superman and made Batman overpowered as fuck. But I really think that Marvel, like, once Batman vs. Superman comes out, the tone's gonna change for superhero movies. Marvel can't play these little kid games anymore with, like, you know, all these jokes in the movies and shit. I like the jokes, don't get me wrong, but it really throws off the tone of a serious movie where thousands, if not millions of people could die. I really think that's what Batman vs. Superman and DC Comics in the universe, like cinematic universe, is doing. It's showing the realism that happens when millions of people could die. And in Marvel, they're just cracking jokes when millions of people can die. I think this can kick Marvel's ass into gear with tone. And I can't wait to see what happens. We're going to be living in a perfect world for superheroes soon, guys. And I'm really, really, really excited to see it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, share it with a friend. You know, let them know what's going on this channel right here. And, you know, fill them in, I guess. I don't know. And I will see you guys on the next one, which should be tomorrow or the next day, or maybe the day after that. See you then. Peace.